Hey, welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Well, I'm getting in a little bit here. I'm about to get going to work. And I promise you, I will be doing my regular drive around videos. I'm not off until the weekend. So when I'm off the weekend, I'll do some recording. And then next week again, I'll have more drive around videos. But I thought I would just kind of chop it up with you guys a little bit. You know, give you guys a little something to watch on my channel, a little something new, just to keep things at least somewhat interesting on this channel. We're going to go ahead and have a discussion here about the current state of affairs, about the current state of this economy. As you guys know, we are in a recession. And, one thing which I want you guys to take away from this video is, in times like these, there's a lot of us that, maybe our money is low, or maybe we discovered that we may have purchased too much. Many of us may discover that we got way too much stuff on credit, and now we're in debt to our eyeballs. Things at the job may not be going well. Maybe you lost your job, got your hours cut, what have you. And a lot of people during these times are in panic mode. What I'm going to ask you guys to do, and I do take my own advice: don't panic, prepare. Let me elaborate on don't panic, prepare. Because see, when you panic, kind of like what I discussed on my video I made yesterday, a lot of you might do some stupid stuff like take out a loan against your primary residence, or you might take out some other super high interest rate loans. Or you might do something else that's on the, that's in the category of being dumb. Now, this is a time where, now this is what I mean by prepare. During times like these is a wonderful time to prepare. What do I mean by prepare? What I mean is, these are the times where you might want to do a little bit of soul searching, and you might want to reprioritize what it is in your life that's truly important to you. Because things that you may have valued a few years ago, back when things were a little different, maybe you might want to reconsider some of those things. Or maybe, another thing, or something else that I would say many of us ought to do is, myself included, is just assume that this recession wasn't even going on, and times are good. Everything was back to normal, whatever that's going to be. And just imagine, how do you want to live your life? I don't care if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. I don't care what age you are. How is it that you want to live your life? Do you want to be a snowbird? Do you want to live the rest of your life by the ocean? Do you want to travel extensively? or you're happy just working a regular 9 to 5 and just living a quote-unquote normal life. I mean, how is it that you want to live your life? What does the ideal life that you're wanting to live, what is it going to look like? And then once you figure out, or you at least have a rough idea what all that is going to look like, then you need to do the math. You need to run all the numbers. How much money are you going to have to live this ideal life? And then once you figure out, or at least come up with a rough estimate of how much money you're going to have, then, you know, what are you going to do for that money? What type of work are you going to do? And how long are you going to have to do it? How long is it going to take you to make this type of money? And of course, with figuring all this out, you also got to be realistic with your personality, your physical condition, and your skill set. And also where you live. You got to be realistic. I mean, and what I mean by being realistic is, if you know you're not a fast worker, you're probably not going to want to take a job working somewhere in production at a factory. I mean, that's what I mean by being realistic. If you know you're not good at, if you know your people skills suck, if you know you're not good at multitasking, you're probably not going to want to take a job in the field of any type of customer service. If you know you don't like to travel, or you have trouble driving at night, clearly you're not going to want to spend thousands of dollars earning your CDL. I think you guys get the point. Well, now I'm going to share with you guys roughly what my plan is, or what I'm thinking about at least. Now, not to brag, but I currently own 2 houses. Now, initially, I was gonna, when I bought this house here in Indiana, I was making, initially my plan was to sell my house in Alabama. Well, make a long story short, a couple of offers fell through, and I still got the house. And then I decided to take it off the market because I'm thinking, okay, well, at the time, I was doing gig work and plus this channel for my primary source of income. So I'm thinking, well, I think my house in Alabama would be a nice house for me to keep, because I like the house, I like the area, I like the fact that it has a real large lot, and I'm thinking I can be down there for 6 to 7 months out the year. And then when it gets so hot down there that you can barely even breathe right, I would be up here where the climate is significantly cooler. Which is my brand or definition of snowbirding, by the way. And that's what I was wanting to do starting this year. Well, fast forward a little bit. Well, obviously we got this madness called the recession going on. Which I'm not going to lie to you people. It does make me even though I realize that we've been in a recession for well over a year, when I look around and I see all the classic signs of a recession getting worse and worse and worse, kind of like what I saw during the recession of '08. You know, given the fact that during the last recession, I was temporarily homeless. I completely dried up all my money to the point where I had to eat at the Salvation Army. I do not want to go through that ever in my life again. So, the fact that we're in a recession, the way we're in a recession right now, you know, the whole thought of it made me super nervous. I'm not going to lie. And not only that, but for those of you that follow some of the other YouTubers out here that do gig work, and they talk extensively about the gig work economy, such as, I think it's Petro Dashing. That's one of the larger gig channels out here that talks about that type of stuff. I talk about it on my channel sometimes. And I've told you guys last week that DoorDashing was not paying me enough money to be able to continue to do that as a primary source of income. And all your other gig apps have also participated in the idea of cutting the base pay for the drivers. Let me give you guys an example. Now, before, when I was DoorDashing, the base pay was $275. As of, I would say, about a week or so ago, the base pay was $275. Then it went down to $250 at some point, and now it's down to $2. So in my market, the base pay is $2. So basically, in a time, in times where many people are struggling, many people are trying to get by and survive and do whatever they got to do to make it all happen for themselves and their family, rather than these gig apps such as DoorDash paying their drivers more money, because everything for us drivers are going to be way more expensive, such as gas, repairs that we got to make to our vehicles, maintenance, and all the way up and including vehicle replacement cost. So rather than DoorDash increasing our pay, what do? They decrease our pay. Imagine going to work one day and your boss dragging you to the office, and your boss tells you, "Hey, sir, ma'am, you know we hired you at X amount of money. Well, we're going to reduce your money to X amount." Now, most people, you know, they're going to probably get pissed off and walk out the door. Well, the only reason why that's not happening so much in the gig economy is because, A, people are desperate for money, so they're going to do what they got to do despite the conditions. B, you got a fair amount of people that do not want to go back to a 9-to-5. They enjoy their freedom. They enjoy being able to go wherever they want to go whenever. So they're going to go ahead and work for less. And hopefully they got their bills to where they can afford to work for less like that. Now, me personally, if I wanted to stay doing DoorDash, I probably could. However, financially, it would be extremely tight. And I question whether I would even have enough to set aside for retirement, which that's very important to me. So anyhow, as you guys realize, I am no longer working full-time as a DoorDash driver. I am no longer doing gig work full-time at all. I have decided to go back to my 9-to-5. Because during times like these, I personally value stability over my ability to just take off and go wherever, whenever, and do whatever. Don't get me wrong. I miss having the freedom that the gig economy allowed me and afforded me to have. I miss it. And since I miss it, I am actively thinking of ways to where I can once again have that freedom and make the money necessary for me to be able to take care of my business, for me to be able to take care of my financial business. Now, I would say in the future, if I have to do any amount of gig work to supplement my income in any way, shape, or form, it is not going to be a primary source of income. It might be maybe 25% of my income, and then the other 75% of my income is going to be doing other stuff, whether it be online or offline. So I am actively, as I speak to you guys right now, am thinking of different ways to make money. I'm doing a little bit of research and due diligence. And obviously, while I'm working a 9 to 5, I'm going to save as much money as possible off of that job. So between that money, the money I make on this channel, and I will do a little bit of gig app work, just a little bit. Maybe 1 or 2 days out of the week, I'll do gig app just for a little extra money. But like I told you guys before, I cannot afford to do it full time. It's just not worth it no more. And I'm also, and I'm also back and forth on rather or rather not to keep my other house. A part of me would like to keep it. That way I can use it for snowbirding, like I discussed earlier. The other part of me might sell it, and then I'll just think of other ways to become a snowbird. So that, right now, that's kind of up in the air. And that is, in a nutshell, that is how, that's basically what's going through my mind in terms of what my life in the future may look like, and some of the things I have to do starting today to make all that a reality. So yeah, right now, these crazy times, I know it's easier said than done, but don't panic, prepare. What is your life going, how do you envision your life to be 2 years from now, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 30 years from now? And once you get that vision of what your life, of what you want your life to look at, then of course you gotta do the finances, you gotta run the numbers, and then you gotta go back and look at what it is you're going to do to earn that type of money. Like for me right now, I'm doing 9 to 5. I'm attempting to build this channel, and I'll do a little bit of gig work. And there's a couple of other online business endeavors that I'm gonna look into, and I may do a couple of them for extra money and see how they go, and try to grow those to where ultimately they can replace my day job. That way, the next time I decide to quit my day job and travel the country again, I'm going to have more than just YouTube money to live off of. I'm going to have more than just the money off of gig work to live off of. And now some people might think, oh, well, with gig work, when this recession blows over, people will start getting paid more in these gig economies. Hopefully that's true, but me personally, I'm not putting my faith in it. My attitude is, what's going on right now is many of the gig companies such as DoorDash, Spark, so on and so forth, they're showing us drivers their true colors. Now, do I think their true colors are going to change when the recession blows over? I don't think they're going to change one bit. So when it comes to those type of apps, I'm going to assume the worst, and I'm going to move accordingly. And I advise those of you that drive on those apps to do the same. All right, folks, I'm about 21 minutes in. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys later. Stay blessed.